Here at Spruce Creek Flying, I finally got a visitor from about an airplane that I'm really intrigued to go fly. I'm Dan Johnson talking to Abid Farooqui, who is the developer of Recon, and I just said about everything I know. So why don't you take it from there, Abid? What did you start here? What are its backgrounds? And tell me a little bit about the general specifics of the airplane, if you would, please.
Sure, Dan. So if you remember with Apollo aircraft, we did Apollo Fox and Apollo LSA, which was a special light sport aircraft back in 2008, 9, 10. And then I kind of left that company, sold out of it. And this is the bigger brother.
Okay.
So you're looking at lengthwise, the wingspan as well. The tail is completely redesigned. It's symmetrical airfoil now. And also the width of the cockpit is 46 inches.
46 inches?
Correct. At the elbows and 4.5 inches at the hips.
Okay, still very generous size.
Pretty generous, correct. So the length increased by 18 inches. So puts the whole tail further behind a little bit, as well as...
Let me interrupt you. You said 18 inches longer than the Apollo Fox.
Correct.
That's quite a bit. Okay, please continue.
So, and then also in the front, it's longer by about 5 inches, so that I will be able to fit 915, 916 engines in the cowling. So that's what the whole idea was, and we don't have to play any games when we're doing load and balance with the heavier engines in the front. So that basically, that's the length is, on the backside the length is roughly about 12 inches longer than the Apollo Fox, than the Euro Fox, all those. So it's a bigger aircraft essentially with a completely redesigned tail. Planform of the wing is different than the Apollo LSA. So this is that version. So I basically worked with my partners, redesigned this configuration to this, a little bit bigger. If you look in the compartment for luggage, me and Bailey just flew to Midwest Expo and back, and we had gone to Oshkosh, especially for Midwest Expo. I think we had about 110 pounds of luggage in there. Yeah, all kinds of bags, yeah.
And I presume, since you're the manufacturer, you're still within weight to have that much there.
Yeah.
Of course, you and Bailey
are not.
You're not the biggest heavy, people in the world, so that helped a bit.
Yeah, so we have a 27 gallons really of fuel, and it was full. Me and Bailey, like I'm 150, she's probably a little bit less than that, but we had 120 pounds of luggage.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And 27 gallons of fuel?
27 gallons
so
of fuel.
Could you make that trip nonstop?
We got close, but not nonstop.
Yeah, not that you would do it necessarily.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go on
talking quite a ways. What was the approximate mileage?
700 nautical miles.
There you go.
So 700 nautical miles, we had one stop.
Okay, well, kind of a comfort stop, get some fuel. And...
Yeah, I mean, after 4.5 hours, I got to get out. So 4.5 hours is what we did the longest leg, and then a 3 hour, whatever it was.
Okay, so 7 hours of flying.
Yeah.
How are the seats for 7 hours of flying?
Well, at 4.5 hours, like I said, I had to stop. I have to say, no, I think I can't sit in a car for more than 4.5 hours. So pretty much, yeah.
I understand that. What engine do you have in here now, Abid?
So I have prototyped it with my personal favorite 912 ULS, 100 horsepower.
Okay.
So at gross weight, it will give us 850 feet per minute climb rate.
Oh, jeez.
So unless you are on the west side of the United States and you are looking for very short, takeoff and landings and things like that, you don't really need a 915
or maybe if you're a real big
or
couple of people.
Yes, yeah. So with the 912 ULS 100 horsepower, I restrict the gross weight for performance reasons to 1320.
1320.
Correct.
With the ULS, which is the carbureted version of the 912 Rotax.
And that would be the same with the 912 IS because the horsepower is the same. Structurally, the plane has been analyzed for and tested for 1,480 pounds.
1,480, okay. Correct. Quite a bit more then.
Yes.
So now if you put the larger engines in, finish the sentence for me.
That's right. You put the larger engines in, you can use that extra weight capacity. Of course, the engine is also heavier, so the empty weight of this is about 760. With the 915, it's going to be right around 800, 805.
Okay, you're still among all LSA I've reviewed, which is most of them, that's still on the lower end of the weight.
Correct, yes.
And you've got a pretty good high weight, which to me translates to, now you got quite a bit of fuel in there, 27 gallons, but it still leaves you a pretty good payload.
Right, so 160 pounds of fuel. So, you know, if you have 800 pounds, let's say empty weight with a 915 fixed pitch prop, you can, you know, 800, 1480, that's a good, you know.
Yeah, I can't do the math in my head right here, but we're talking over 500 pounds.
680, yeah.
So yeah, like that. So that means a lot of people, and some luggage inside, and still, okay. Yeah. Now let's come back to some performance then. People will go, great, it carries some stuff, it looks good, all the rest of that. But tell me a little bit about its performance. So when you made this long flight, what was your average cruise?
So
and at what altitude?
You're right. So first I want to talk a little bit about this plane is set up with these 21, 22-inch tires and has round tubing.
Ah, yes,
No covers on it right
now.
Although I do have covers, I haven't installed them. With this, we were getting 93 knots true airspeed true airspeed at about 4,000 feet.
4,000 feet, okay.
Correct.
And at what RPM setting?
That's around 5,300 RPM.
5,300, okay.
Right. So right around burning 5.2 gallons per hour with the 912 ULS, right? 75% power. So that's with this setup. Now, when we go and install the airfoil covers on it, you gain about 7 knots from that.
7 knots?
Correct. Yes.
Oh my! And then I'm guessing these big draggy
right,
guys.
So when you
they look beautiful, and
yeah.
I'm sure they're great on a
soft
unimproved
grass,
surface.
Yeah.
But if you're flying off an airport like this,
or
then?
Prepared grass surface, you can go with the standard tires, which have nice wheel pants on them, and you'll gain another about 6 knots from that.
Really? So 13 more knots are possible with these cleanups.
Yeah, and that makes sense because the Apollo Fox did that, 98 knots.
Yeah, so that puts you at like 110 miles an hour.
Right, 98 knots indicated.
Excuse me, knots. Yes, we're talking knots.
Knots, yeah.
Sorry,
I don't do miles. Yeah, I just talk in knots.
So 110 knots, all cleaned up. Everything?
Not 110, about 105.
105 knots. Okay, thanks for correcting me.
Because indicated, I'm talking indicated.
Yes, okay, got it. Got it. Okay, now that's, again, all with the 912 100 horsepower variety, either the ULS or the IS, the fuel-injected one.
Fuel-injected one will, of course, 912 IS will burn, instead of 5.2, it'll burn 4.5 for the same.
Oh, quite a bit less then, for the same performance.
Especially as you go above 4,000 feet, it leans out better.
Yeah.
You can see that right in the EGTs, you know.
That right, okay, so it also helps with the temperature control as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, now let's, because people are going to go, well, but you mentioned these bigger engines.
Yes.
Pilots love bigger engines. Who doesn't, I guess?
Yes.
But tell me a little bit about what you expect with 915 or 916.
Yeah, so
these are 131, I believe, and 160 horsepower variants.
140 and 160.
Now. 140, 160.
Now, if you're doing a fixed pitch prop on the 915, you won't get 140. You'll get close to 136, 137.
Okay.
But still pretty good power. So this is 100 and I'm getting 850 feet per minute at 1320. So even though you'll go higher, you will actually gain more horsepower, and the thrust to weight ratio is going to be better. So you have excess thrust. You should be seeing around 1500 feet per minute with a 915.
1500.
Correct. At full gross, 1480. And you should be seeing, although I haven't tested it yet, but with a 916, you should be able to see 17 to 1800 feet per minute.
Wow, a rocket. Just a little yellow rocket. Holy cow.
I mean, for this, on prepared surface like this, you can take off in about 200 to 250 feet at gross weight with flaps down, flaperons down.
With which engine now?
912 ULS.
With this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 250 feet and you're off the ground.
Wow.
So with the 915, it's less than half that.
You only need to go the width of the runway.
Yeah, you accelerate so quickly. Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Those are great performance numbers.
And then you're seeing.
Talk to me about cruise now. How the bigger engines, they usually do well on climb and getting off the ground and whatnot.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily go a lot faster because now you're into airframe.
Yeah, you are into airframe, and that's correct. If you're going to use a bigger tires, especially, you're going to run into the bottlenecks are right here and right there.
Yep.
And if we clean that up, maybe you will gain another 10, 12 knots with a 915, but not much more than that, because the design cruise speed and the design itself restricts that.
Sure.
It's not exactly the most laminar flow airplane, but that's not what it's meant to be.
No, obviously not. No,
yeah.
This isn't meant to be the high-speed cruiser of the fleet.
Right.
But that'll put you past 110 knots. Then.
It will,
absolutely.
Well past. It'll put you right around 112 to 114 knots actually. Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that you're blocking just a little bit here, it says experimental. Now that's this particular one, I'm presuming.
Correct.
What's the longer term plan?
So longer term plan is July 2026 is when the Mosaic takes effect. So of course I cannot certify anything right now to 1480 pounds. But I'm working on, my thinking is that with Mosaic I'll do one certification to 1480. Right, instead of doing multiple times.
Sure, of course.
And basically come out with a 915 SLSA, and then people can buy ELSA and very quick finish. Or they can do experimental amateur build if they want to customize it more.
Well, some people like to build, so.
Right. And this
you will support the building process.
I will. And right now also it's a very quick build kit. It's mainly assembly and wiring and engine installation and control surfaces installation and control circuit. Fuel system, but mainly it's come completely covered and painted.
Wow.
So
and painted as well. Okay, there's one of the holdbacks for a lot of people is painting is kind of its own art form.
Exactly. And most people don't ever paint themselves. Generally, they get somebody to paint it anyway. So we took that off because our labor cost with the painting is much less than people can get it painted.
I imagine.
So basically it's painted, so what you're doing is, so you get to learn.
Obviously then, excuse me for interrupting again, but it's a lot of it's fabric covered, not all of it, the parts that aren't, a lot of it is fabric covered. You're telling me that's fabric covered and painted? And fabric
covered, UV protected, primed, and then painted.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
So what's the build time does that translate to?
So if you ordered a kit, it's about 4.5 to 5 months for the kit to be here, the quick build kit, and then you come with us. And it's about 3 weeks or less.
3 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you take our instrument panel like we have it, which is Garmin G3X, or you can take the cheaper versions, which are basically the Canadian panel with that separate engine monitor and stuff. Or you take the Garmin, which is a little bit more difficult, more expensive with 2-axis autopilot and stuff, that will take a little bit longer to wire. You participate with us in the wiring.
Okay, so people will, when they are building, before you get to the fully built ones after Mosaic in July 26.
Correct.
For now, they will come and visit you for 3 weeks. Right. You're at the Zephyr Hills Airport, which is near Tampa, folks.
Yes.
So easy to get to Tampa if you're jetting in from someplace else. Yeah. And you got hotels and stuff around there. I'm sure you can accommodate people, but that's pretty quick build time.
That's very quick.
That'll interest people that go, well, I kind of like the idea of building, but I don't want to spend the next 2-3 years building the thing.
Yes. So, so I'm not targeting that market that wants to buy a $30,000 kit or $40,000 kit and spend 3 years building it.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm targeting. I'm targeting people who within the year want to buy and fly, even with the experimental amateur build. So they want to be, a lot of our pilots are getting older, right? And GA, the new pilots are from the bottom are not really coming in as much. So those guys, I think flying is more important, becoming more and more important because at time, the 2-3 years of building, time takes a long. You still learn the whole airplane. You still understand every circuit that's going on for control. You still understand all the fuel system. We explain how the fuel, why it's done exactly the way it's done. You understand pretty well. You don't have to do all the wiring. Many people are afraid of wiring. They also get it done by A&Ps and stuff. But here you will at least understand what the wiring is, what the numbers mean, what is, when you can at least go to the point of troubleshooting, So, and mechanically you understand everything. Engine installation you'll understand because you're doing it with us. So those are the things. Wiring harness, maybe we'll do most of the wiring harness, but you will help us completely put it together, install. If you want to do your own wiring harness and you want to get your own panel done, you can, and you can get it sent over, and then we will do it. But I don't see any need for that. So it's very quick build. It's experimental amateur build. Mosaic is going to, of course, allow that if you are an IRMT, if you are becoming a light sport repairman, you will be able to do your own annual whether you built it or not. Right?
Now there's a nice feature.
So whether you built it or not, if you're buying a Recon, like if you bought this one, right? This is my first of type production. So there was one before this, which was prototype. You're just going to be able to do your own annuals.
A couple more things I want to cover.
Sure.
First of all, folks, Abid's been saying a lot of things about certification and amateur building and so forth. He's quite a knowledgeable guy on this. I'm not even going to let you brag about it because you take 2 hours to tell us all the stuff you've done, but helped a lot of people certify their airplanes, other airplanes, plus done his own more than once. He kind of knows a lot about what he's talking about. But let's finish off with a little bit about the handling of the airplane, then takeoffs and landings. It's a tail dragger.
It's a tail dragger.
And you're not a totally experienced tail dragger.
I'm not a great
So you're a good
tail
one
dragger.
to tell me, how is it? Please do.
So I took my tail dragger training in a J3 Cub. And there was a 65 horsepower push. This is, and you couldn't see anything from the back seat. Getting in and out was, even for me.
Yeah, you're a slender guy.
Yeah, and I'm a slender guy. But it was okay for me, but I can understand how taller people and bigger people get in there. But very easy to get in and out. You can see, even with these tires, now I think if I went to 29s or something, it would be probably difficult. But I installed a camera in front so I could see it on the Garmin G3X.
I thought I saw a camera up there.
But I disconnected it now. There's no point because I can see.
Sure.
So actually not so bad even with these. So I thought with this slightly taller tires I'll need it, but actually don't.
Still see out well. Huh?
Exactly. Takeoffs, fairly easy to fly. For a tail dragger guy, fairly easy to fly. Just hit the power. By the time you're finishing the power, you relax the stick, it comes on the tail and it's off.
Pull it off the tail.
And it's off. Yeah, I mean, you don't even get the chance to really see what's going on. You finish 1, 2, 3, and the tail is up, and you're 1, 2, and you're up. Yeah, so that's basically
nice slow throttle movement. I like that too. Not jamming the thing in.
I don't ever do that.
I don't do that either. Okay, but landings now may be a little more challenging. I guess.
Of course it's a tail dragger, but I would say that I picked it up after 2 years of not flying the Cub, taking a break, just flying tricycle gear, came back into the tail dragger, and took about 10, 11 hours now with Bailey, and I'm pretty much there. But here's the other thing. You can get this plane in tricycle gear.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me that before. Okay, that's very interesting.
Right.
Go into a little bit of detail about that. We don't want to go too long here, but we want to hear that.
You can order this plane in 3 configurations of landing gear. Tail dragger, tricycle gear, standard. Both are the same price. Or you can get what we call the Recon Combo, which is all the welding is done so you can change. You can go from tail dragger to tricycle gear. It's a $1,500 option, but you can basically go back and forth. It's a little bit heavier on the empty weight because there's more going on there for metal-wise and welding-wise. But if you are a tail dragger guy and you love tail draggers, you buy it, and you know that most people, especially on the eastern side of the United States, they like flying tricycle gear, and insurance is better. You're going to think about resale. You can buy that one and then just buy the front fork and attach it at the end when you go to sell.
Fly it as a tail dragger, sell it as a nose dragger.
As a nose dragger.
All right,
I mean, that's the idea of that, because otherwise, if you're a tail dragger guy, there is really no need for, right? Some people are tail dragger people.
But I've always said, any airplane you buy today, you're selling someday.
Someday, yeah.
And so you need to keep that in mind, really.
Correct,
you buy some super specialty thing. Well, there's not very many people that may be able to buy it and fly it or want to. But tell me a little bit how we find you on the web now. Give me a web address for your company.
So www.silverlightaviation.com.
SilverLight.
Yeah, L-I-G-H-T.
Aviation.com.
Aviation.com.
Okay, very good.
You go there. We have the Aerojones Sport. We have the Recon, and of course, AR-1 gyroplane.
So you got quite a range of aircraft for people.
Quite a range,
should be able to satisfy an awful lot of needs.
Yep, and you will find that I've put down finally on my website that I actually offer services for helping other companies as well. I've only done word of mouth before, but now I'm actually putting it down because
good for you.
Mosaic, I think people will need some help.
It's not a super complicated rule, but it's definitely got some details, and you got to get it right, and it's all up to the manufacturer. FAA didn't come around and say, change this, do that.
Correct.
No, you do it, and they just say okay or not okay.
Right. So if you don't want to go hiring 3 engineers and you don't want to hire full-time people, you want to just do a project and then learn and basically set up your systems. We can offer consultancy, we can offer contract, meaning we can do the work for you, or we'll guide your work with consultancy, whichever way you want to do. So all of that is on my website now, all those services.
I asked Abid when he ever sleeps given this schedule. He says that'll come later in life.
It'll come. 6 hours, I sleep 6 hours.
Thank you so much for talking to us today, Abid.
Great.
Very good. After we got done talking with Abid Farooqui about the design and many features of this airplane, I wanted to talk to his pilot, which is this lovely young gal here named Bailey, who is going to tell me a little bit about some of its flight characteristics.
So I do come from Cubs, primarily J3 and then Super Cubs. So transitioning into this, I was a little bit worried because I've mostly only been in Cubs, but the transition was very seamless because it's very strange being in a side-by-side, so I thought that was going to be a bit of a challenge. After doing like 2 flights, it's really not bad because you get the comfort of a Cessna, but you get like the fun quirkiness of the tail wheel because you're still doing your wheel landings, your 3 points, everything like that. So flying this, I want to say it's kind of a really good transition from your tricycle gear into a tail wheel. So I really enjoy that. And being able to see over the cowling is also pretty nice. It does kind of take away that little bit of a scarier factor because people aren't very necessarily comfortable with the serpentine to start off with, so I think it's a really good transition.
You're talking about the taxiing technique so that you can see where you're going.
Exactly.
Which if you're in the aft seat of a J3, you don't see much.
Yeah,
you see out the sides.
Exactly. It's a little bit of blind faith along with some skill. Yeah, absolutely.
How did you acquire these skills, Bailey?
So I actually started in Iowa and started as a fueler, and then I met an old guy who had a J3 and he's like, come fly with me. And yeah, I want to say our second day flying, he covered all the instruments and just told me to feel the airplane. So,
beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, not necessarily the most traditional training, but.
No, but if you're a stick wiggler like me, you should be able to sense the airplane.
Yeah, exactly.
The instruments are great. We love our digital instrumentation these days with everything in the world, but people get kind of, just like young teenagers get focused on their phone, people get focused on that screen and they're not, look outside.
Yeah, look outside, exactly. Well, and that's what's so cool too, because like the J2s, they have the big, or the J3s, they have the big door, it's open, it's nice. This is nice and encased, and then with the bubble windows, you get a lot of the good visibility, you get the scoop with the air, so like you get that feeling, but it's a lot more comfortable and your hair stays nice. Because that was always a problem for me.
I don't have to worry about that, but someone as lovely as you does. So.
Yeah, I always had to wear my little like, bandana on.
There you go.
So this is a nice transition.
Cool, good for you. Well, thank you for talking to us,
Absolutely,
Bailey.
thank you.
And I hope you'll have lots of great flying in the Recon.
Yeah, me too.